Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at two accessories for the Sony A7S Mark III. So if you're about to purchase this camera, if you can find it that is, since it is sold out everywhere, or you already have, then you probably know about these two accessories that I just received from Sony so that I could fully leverage the capability of the A7S Mark III. So what I have in my right hand is their brand new compact flash express type A card, 80 gigabytes, roughly $200 US, which is expensive, but try to find these sort of speeds. We're talking about 700 megabytes a second on the write and 800 on the read. And then we've got the card reader, which is, the model number is the MRWG2. This, of course, can read the compact flash express type A as well as traditional SD cards. This retails for around $120 US. So if you didn't know it, the A7S Mark III, of course, supports traditional UHS 1 and 2 SD cards, and you actually can shoot 4K 120 frames per second with a V60 rated card, but if you really want to go the distance, this is the little guy to pick up, okay? And they also have a 160 gig capacity. I'll see, how much or how easily I fill this 80 gig card. And again, it is expensive, but think about those speeds. This is basically a NVMe in the form of an SD card, which is amazing. I mean, wow, technology just continues to impress, does it not? So that's the first thing you need to know. It actually has its own heat sink on board to dissipate the heat. So that's just pretty crazy. And of course, down the road, these will get larger. IP57 rating, that's why it wears the TOUGH branding. And had this come with the camera the day I received it, I would have been able to immediately start using it the way it was meant to be. I unfortunately didn't have a card that really could leverage it. And while yes, as I said, any SD card that's V60 rated can do 4K 120, I want to be able to test the limits of this hardware because this is just an amazing camera, to say the least. So let's see what we have in the box here. I'm going to dump it out. And this is all on loan, by the way, just like the A7S and the G Master 16 to 35 that you see paired with it. So here's the actual card reader, all metal construction. It is USB-C, so that's 3.2, and there you have it. So again, this does support traditional SD cards as well as, more importantly, those compact flash express type A cards, which I'm going to say are the future of data storage going ahead for photographers. This isn't the first time Sony's done this, but this is the latest and greatest generation. And then they also include in here, we've got two cables. One is a Type C to Type A, and the other is a Type C to Type C. So pretty straightforward. I mean, that's what I would anticipate. I will likely be using the C to C because I don't need to use a Type C to Type A, but of course, at $120. I mean, if you're looking for the fastest card reader that money can buy, and I get that question a lot, this is probably it. And this is probably something that I'll likely purchase even if I don't jump into this platform and buy an A7S Mark III, just because I know that this is going to be the most effective card reader on the market for my applications, even using traditional SD cards. I mean, you're going to get the speed, the max speed you can out of whatever SD card you're using, just because it actually supports this type of speed, which is insane speed. But again, this was just a quick unboxing and first look at the compact flash express type A TOUGH cards from Sony. Of course, the reader you're going to want to buy unless you're going to use your camera as a card reader, which I don't recommend doing. If you have the budget, you should absolutely pick up one of these. It's going to screw up your workflow to have to always default to the camera. And again, as I mentioned at the top of the video, you can use traditional SD cards. They don't even have to be V60. I mean, they do to get the 4K 120, but 4K 60 frames you can pull off with cards like I have right here. Just, you know, one of these little SanDisk micro SD V30 cards. This is a 512. I have this in a 0.5 terabyte capacity as well. That's what I generally use for my channel because I do record in 4K at 30 frames, but it is capable. It's fast enough with its write speed to handle the 4K 60 coming off of this bad boy, a 10-bit. But if you want to go beyond that, then you're going to have to look at V60 cards or make the full jump to the fastest tech that exists right now, which is what I just shared with all of you. And there's a very clear and obvious reason why they launched it alongside this camera. It's because this is where it all starts. So it'll be interesting to see how pricing either stays firm or changes on these cards, how capacities increase, but just amazing that this is basically, you know, again, an NVMe, if you will, a portable SSD in the form of something even smaller than a traditional SD card, and has a heat sink on it so that it doesn't overheat. It's just crazy. Sony, amazing things. Can't wait to throw this in and start shooting and just see how this camera performs in an ideal condition. And as you can see, the SD card slots are full-size SD, and then inside they do have you know, an additional cutout for the compact flash Express Type A that I just dropped in. So we'll see how this performs. I, of course, will report back when I give you my first update on my experience with the A7s Mark III, but in the little bit I've done with it so far, it's fantastic. Now I'm expecting to be blown away now that I have an SD, or excuse me, a compact flash express card capable of really keeping up with the A7s Mark III. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.